There's a lot that I love about backyard growers. I just intimately know like how important it is for kids to touch the thing that they're growing that they're gonna eat, because then they will actually eat it and have a little bit of control over what they're eating, and then to be with other people when they're doing that.
For people to have space to grow their own food and the tools and resources, that becomes a really large space for empowerment.
Places like backyard growers collecting food and bringing it to the open door at the market and teaching people how to grow their own food has just been such a significant addition to this community.
Backyard Growers is a nonprofit organization based on Cape Ann that provides people, communities, and schools with the resources that they need to grow food. My name is Allison Fiori. I live in Gloucester and I'm the executive director of Backyard Growers. So I grew up in Beverly, which is just a couple towns over from Gloucester. I went to school in Montana and Wyoming for college. So I moved to Gloucester when I was about 23 years old, and I lived here with my now husband for 5 or 6 years, and then we left for various opportunities. My husband and I were both hired to manage a farm on the island of Molokai. On Molokai, we learned quite a bit about tropical fruit production. And then after that, we went to grad school in Connecticut and then moved to California for him to do his PhD in marine ecology. And I managed a tropical fruits and coffee farm in Santa Barbara. And then during the pandemic, we were able to move back. So I started working for the Food Project, which is a Boston-based nonprofit organization that works at the intersection of youth, food, and community. As an organization, we were trying to figure out more work opportunities for our teenagers, kind of once the farming season had ended. Around this time, I was introduced to Lara LaBianca, who ultimately founded Backyard Growers. Lara was just a resident in Gloucester, an incredible artist who had torn up her 1/100th of an acre on Beacon Street and was growing food. She also had a ton of neighbors that saw what she was doing and wanted to grow food as well. The Food Project Youth became most of the labor behind building all the raised beds that were built in Gloucester. So fast forward 10 years and a pandemic later, and Lara was looking to pass the torch. And I feel like I got kind of like tapped in. It's just a beautiful reflection of how meaningful, not even just gardening can be, but like doing so in community, I think is really huge. So, you know, I launched my food systems career here in Gloucester at the Food Project, but when I left and explored other areas of agriculture and kind of got to think more about what I wanted my impact to be and how I was going to do that, I decided to pursue an MBA. At Backyard Growers, we infuse sustainable business practices all the time into our work through things like our approach to the farmers market and even how we work with farmers like Elise.
My name is Elise Smith, and I own, operate, and manage Cedar Rock Gardens in Gloucester with my husband, Tucker. My husband started another farm in Essex called Alprilla Farm, so I was able to work on the farm a little bit there, which was awesome, and it was just so fun. You know, we were digging in the dirt and it was very romanticized. Yeah, the farming aspect of our lives, you know, it's not so much a career as it's more of just a lifestyle. Our affiliation with Backyard Growers goes way back to the very beginning of Backyard Growers existing. To fund our business, we were doing garden installations. So we were leaving the farm, going to people's houses, setting up vegetable gardens, planting them.
When Backyard Growers started up, they were doing garden installations too.
We were doing the Cape Ann Farmers Market. We met somebody that was working there at the farmers market who was telling us that that's what the Backyard Growers program was doing, and then they were going to move into growing food at schools, and you know, we were immediately interested.
Backyard Growers took over the farmers market, and we were excited to be a part of it.
So the Backyard Grocery is the new farmers market on Cape Ann, launched by backyard growers this past summer. The market is nestled between two of our community garden sites. It's been this really incredible fusion of food and art, gardeners and farmers and artists. There's just some kind of like natural bond. I don't know if it's like creating beauty with your hands or whatever it is, right? But the farmers market, the Backyard Grocery, has really become that, and 100% thanks to Alexis Harwood.
My name is Alexis, and I'm the Director of Programs and Operations at Backyard Growers. Originally, my role at Backyard Growers was because the city had approached Backyard Growers to kind of gauge interest if the organization would like to bring back a farmers market to Gloucester. When it came time to decide a location, I think they were really excited that Burnham's was going to house the market. And I think the biggest thing was figuring out what is the heartbeat of the market and what's the main mission.
We really wanted a market that was not just going to support the people that were shopping at it, but the vendors behind it.
Alexis really did go above and beyond in terms of making sure the market was as community driven as they were hoping it would be.
At the end of each market, I would go around and buy produce from some of the farmers, which would create space so they could still generate revenue. And then I would assemble 20 to 25 bags and deliver it to the open door on Thursdays, which is the day after the market.
The fact that they were able to purchase from farmers and other vendors to fill bags of food to distribute was enormous. I think it really brought it from the project that they initially started it to the actual successful endeavor that it's become.
I think one of the really wonderful things about Cape Ann is it houses so many different amazing nonprofits, and when we all kind of unite and come together, we become such a strong and resilient community.
Things that used to feel like hard or made me nervous in my role as executive director, one of the biggest ones was like calling people and asking them for money. And now I kind of look forward to it because I actually love having these conversations with folks that like really care about the work that we're doing and they care about Cape Ann.
School-age children are so removed from the process of growing their own food, and Backyard Growers meeting that need has been extremely significant for our community.
We have a lot of socioeconomic diversity. There are people here that have a ton of resources. A lot of times they're really willing to share those resources and put them back into this place that they care a lot about.
When you create more resilient communities that are where you live, you feel more connected to the space that you live in.
It was just really uplifting to see all the different faces of Gloucester shopping side by side.
I think we all understand instinctually how impactful and beautiful and inspiring that work really is.